It's August 2023. You're walking down the streets of Buenos Aires when you see him. Leather jacket, unkempt hair, and a chainsaw hoisted high above his head. No, it's not a protester. It's a presidential candidate. He's screaming about inflation, about corrupt politicians, about how socialism is killing your country. The crowd? They're loving it. This isn't some fringe maniac. This is Javier Milei, and he's about to win the presidency of Argentina. In just a few years, Milei went from shouting on late-night TV to leading the second largest economy in South America. But behind the chainsaw stunts and anti-socialist tirades lies a deeper story, one of libertarian extremism, foreign interests, and a country so desperate for change, they gave power to a man who promised to destroy everything. To comprehend how Javier Milei became the most radical leader in the Western Hemisphere, we must take a look back into his early years. Javier Milei was born on October 22, 1970, in Buenos Aires. From a young age to a young adult, Milei was different. He was obsessed with economics, but not the kind taught in school. No Keynes, no Marx. Instead, he devoured the works of Ludwig von Mises, Friedrich Hayek, and Murray Rothbard. He believed the state was inherently evil, that taxes were theft, and that free markets should reign supreme, no matter the cost. But his life didn't start in politics. Before he became a media figure, Milei was a goalkeeper for a second-tier soccer team. Seriously. Then, in the 1990s, he became a financial analyst, an economic consultant, and later, chief economist at Corporación América, one of Argentina's largest holding companies. But it wasn't until the mid-2010s that he truly found his voice. In 2015, Milei began appearing regularly on Argentine talk shows, and he wasn't your typical economist in a suit with a spreadsheet. He yelled. He swore. He called politicians thieves and bureaucrats parasites. He slammed the central bank as a criminal organization and said Argentina should adopt the US dollar. People couldn't look away. In a country plagued by economic collapse after economic collapse, Milei didn't sound crazy. He sounded like the only one telling the truth. His fan base grew, especially among Argentina's disillusioned youth, who had only known poverty, inflation, and political betrayal. By 2021, he launched his own political party, La Libertad Avanza, Liberty Advances. And in the legislative elections that year, he won a seat in Congress. The outsider had just broken into the system, and he was only getting started. Before we get into the chaos Javier Milei would unleash, think about this. A loud, rebellious voice rises up, full of emotion, passion, and rage. And suddenly, an entire nation is listening. That same principle, it applies to storytelling. And that's why we use ElevenLabs. Their AI voice tech doesn't just read words, it feels them. Rage, sarcasm, hope, all of it. If you're making content and you want your words to hit like Milei's chainsaw speeches, go to try.elevenlabs.io/uncoveredfiles and unleash your voice. Now, back to Javier Milei. Milei's campaign platform wasn't just bold, it was insane by traditional standards. He proposed the following: abolishing the central bank entirely, eliminating 10 ministries of the government, slashing welfare programs, privatizing state-owned companies, and yes, dollarizing the entire economy. His symbol? A chainsaw, used literally at rallies to demonstrate how he would cut government waste. Critics called it performance art, but supporters saw something more. Someone finally willing to dismantle the corrupt system that had ruined Argentina. Inflation was over 100%. The peso was worthless. 40% of the population lived below the poverty line. Radical times demand radical measures, right? But Milei wasn't acting alone. Behind the scenes, foreign libertarian think tanks and international right-wing influencers were quietly boosting him. He was openly endorsed by Tucker Carlson, who flew to Argentina to interview him. Milei also praised Donald Trump, Jair Bolsonaro, and echoed talking points from the Cato Institute and Atlas Network, groups known for pushing free market policies globally. Critics claimed Milei was being used by powerful neoliberal forces to open up Argentina's economy to foreign capital, especially Wall Street hedge funds and multinational corporations eyeing Argentina's rich lithium, gas, and oil reserves. Was he a true believer or a pawn in a much larger game? November 2023, Milei does the impossible. He defeats Sergio Massa, the establishment candidate, in a runoff election, winning over 56% of the vote. He wasn't just popular. He had won by the largest margin since Argentina returned to democracy in 1983. In his victory speech, he doubled down. There is no room for gradualism. There is no room for half measures. There is no room for lukewarmness. Translation: he was going to burn it all down. As president, Milei wasted no time. He issued over 300 economic reforms and a massive omnibus bill, gutting regulations, cutting subsidies, eliminating ministries, and beginning the process of privatizing key industries. He suspended public works, froze pensions, slashed energy subsidies, and of course, he began plans to dollarize the economy. Though critics pointed out Argentina didn't actually have enough dollars to make that work. Markets were volatile, the peso plummeted, the poor got poorer, but Milei didn't care. This was shock therapy, and the doctor wasn't asking for consent. By early 2025, reality began to hit. Inflation hadn't stopped. In fact, some metrics showed it was worsening. Protests erupted across the country. Labor unions called for general strikes. Hospitals were underfunded. Even some of Milei's early supporters began turning on him. International investors were cautious. The dollarization plan stalled, and political opposition in Congress started blocking key reforms. The very system he wanted to destroy was now strangling his presidency. Was this the beginning of Milei's fall? As of now, Javier Milei remains president of Argentina, a chaotic, defiant, uncompromising leader. To some, he's a visionary libertarian hero, finally freeing Argentina from the clutches of socialism. To others, he's a dangerous ideologue, gambling an entire nation's future on radical theories and foreign interests. Milei isn't just leading a country. He's testing an idea that in a world of broken politics, the most extreme solution might be the only one left. Will he save Argentina? Or will he push it over the edge? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure. You can't ignore the chainsaw president.